7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the maiden voyage of Beyond the Surface. We are here. We are ready to have a blast with you guys. We've got an amazing panel set up right here. We've got the great Dennis Scott, my former colleague at NBA TV for many, many years, one of the biggest time basketball broadcasters there is, one of the pioneers of the three-point shot, and a member of Lethal Weapon 3, and he's got big stuff going on right now. DZ, Dr. X, AM, Dwight, it is an absolute pleasure to be here with you. Let's get into this, man. But DZ, what's up, dude? Let's get the reunion going.
Hey, man. When I got the phone call, and anytime Doc said he needs me, I said, look, I'm going to change my schedule for you because I know when you bring something to the table, that means something's going to be X-rated and popping, baby.
Love it.
So Dr. X, give this is your vision, okay? Give the people watching right now, because obviously, your vision, where you want to take this, kind of the theme of the show, and let's get into this.
Yeah, most people know, I'm a physician specializing in radiology, and as a radiologist, we read X-rays, and so I got the X-ray vision, and so I make those clutch diagnoses, and breaking down all the injuries and things of that nature. And as you can see, the name X-rated, as well as my moniker, Dr. X, goes all hand in hand. Right now on Instagram, we're going viral with a lot of the injury breakdowns, millions of views and comments and all the likes and all that stuff. But we're also educating the general public in layman's terms. People are loving the content. People are loving just to be grossed out by an injury, even though it's their favorite player. You still kind of want to look and see what's going on with that. And you're also learning at the same time. So it's a win-win for everybody. But, at the heart of it, I really just want to cover all sports and want to have experts like yourself a part of this. And so I'm really glad that we could really collab on this.
I mean, it's a blessing to be here. I know all of us feel that way. Dr. X, you the man. Dwight Walton, okay? Dwight, you, my friend, played professionally overseas on the Canadian national team with Steve Nash and Rowan Barrett, TSN correspondent, and Dr. X's first cousin. So, Dwight, it's a pleasure to be on the air with you. Hooper, let's talk some hoops, man.
You know what? Being able, first of all, I want to thank my cousin, Dr. Phil McDonald, Dr. X, his vision for all of this, his passion for the game of basketball. We all know that his trade is a physician. He is a radiologist. But his love and passion for basketball, and because he has me to bounce his ideas off of, we get into arguments all the time. We go back and forth. The more you get to know Phil and I, you'll understand it is tongue in cheek. But it's also a good time as well. But to be able to be on a platform with you, Rick, with you, 3D, Dennis Scott, with AM Pfeffer, with Jason, with Brandon Armstrong, aka B Dot, and a host of other characters on this show, I just think it's a blessing, it's a privilege, and an honor. And understand, fellas, I take this responsibility very seriously. I love talking basketball. I love talking sports in general, as all my family and friends know, and I look forward to this opportunity, and I think it's going to be great. And just to be on this platform with you guys is an absolute pleasure and honor for me. Thank you very much.
I'm ready to run out of the tunnel and go kick ass and take names. Let's go.
Facts.
That was amazing, dude. I am fired up. I'm ready to run through a wall for Coach Walton over here. AM Pfeffer, what's up, man? You're holding it down in the studio out there in LA. Looking good, man.
I can't wait till all of you get back here and join me next to me right here on this set. But to second your notion, Rick, Dwight, I'll follow you to hell and back, man. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. So, guys, we are, let's just get into this, man. Okay, let's have some fun. And, guys, that's the whole idea with the show. It's going to be a lot of debate type of topics. It's going to be a lot of hoops. It's going to be some football. If various other stuff in other sports pops up and is very newsworthy, we'll attack that and put our treatment on it as well. We are obviously stoked about opening night for the 25-26 NBA season. We get a couple of games coming up on Tuesday night. Houston at OKC, and then we also get the Golden State Warriors at the Los Angeles Lakers. So, guys, let's chop it up. Let's talk about Houston and OKC. And let's first of all debate, are they going to defend as champions? All right, let's just start right there. Later on in the show, we're going to talk who wins the East, the West, some awards and stuff like that. But let's just kind of, it's ring night, right? Like, are they going to do it again? AM, I want to go to you first on this one, man.
Yeah, simple answer is yes. You know, the nucleus of that team is somewhere between 24 to 29 years old. The defense is as good as it gets across the NBA. So, look, defense wins championships. We know it. It won it last year. It's won it in the past. It's going to win it again. More than likely, OKC wins. They're my pick. Not only coming out of the West, but to win the whole thing. Like you said, we'll talk about that a little later.
I like it. DZ, you're up next, man. Is OKC, because the last time we had a repeat, DZ, was Durant GS Dub in 17-18. Are we getting back to that?
First of all, I love this first conversation because what I'm getting ready to give you fits this show perfectly to a T, because I'm going to come out the gate and be X-rated, meaning that the obvious has to happen. Can they stay healthy again? Remember, early in the season, they were not healthy. They played small ball. Remember, both centers were hurt. If I remember, Big Chet went down with a hip injury. Yep. And this is why I love working with Doc, because right now we were in the studio. I'd run to the board right now. Instead of showing a highlight, I'd be showing that hip injury that had him out, damn near 3 months. Ha-ha. So it made Coach Dagnall dig deep into his bench to create that continuity. So when the playoffs came, he went 10, 12 deep. He was playing guys in the finals in game one that hadn't played since the first series. And people were like, well, what the hell is he doing? I said, well, you don't know the game and you don't know the culture where OKC's being built. So with that being said, you're getting ring night. I would run back over to the board and say, wow, KD and the Rockets are on fire. They are headed to the moon, pun intended. But let's be X-rated once again. Steady Freddie going down with that Achilles injury, being out for the season, now has put a cloud over the Rockets. So that's how I like to set the table to answer your question. Yes, I do have OKC and just the way he's SGA's playing, MVP. I just think he's playing lights out basketball. He's young. He's sharing his leadership. I'm along with AM. I got OKC winning again, but that's my X-rated view on both sides from an X-rated standpoint.
So then from X-rated, we go to Dr. X. Dr. X, man, is OKC doing this again?
See, I'm trying to be non-biased because I have aspirations from my Knicks. So I want to have respect for the champ. So I'll say at least OKC is at least going to be the Western Conference champions.
Okay.
And I'll at least give them that respect. A lot of the new teams that I'm really excited about seeing, number one, Denver, Houston, and then the Clippers. Those are the three teams I think. And then, people were saying don't sleep on the Warriors either, So a lot of people are thinking that just because the team is long in the tooth, as you got with the Clippers, don't sleep on that. And as DZ was saying, it goes down to the injuries. Can Kawhi Leonard be that person? So there's a lot of teams that are up there, and it's going to be kind of a crapshoot as to who comes out of the West. But if anybody can do it, anybody has experience, the continuity, has that chemistry, it's going to be the OKC Thunder. So I say they repeat in the West, and I'm going to leave it at that for now.
I like it. I like it. And that's also a teaser for later on in the show when we talk East winner and West winner. I have a feeling, Dr. X, we're going to have the same East winner. And I'll give you my answer to this question in just a minute. Dwight Walton, does OKC repeat? Are they doing this again?
Rick, you said it quickly in your question. You said it, the no repeat champion in the past 8 seasons. I'm not a betting man, but I'm going to go along those lines. Should OKC be the favorite? Absolutely. But a lot of luck is going to be involved. And to DZ's point about injuries, I think the Thunder were able to sort of get through the Chet Holmgren injury last season. But if an injury, and God forbid, if an injury happens to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or Jaylen Williams, I'm not so sure they can recover from an injury like that. I'm not trying to speak it into existence, but a lot of luck injury-wise has to happen for the Thunder to repeat. So the team that I like to come out of the West this season, the Oklahoma City Thunder may win the regular season, but to come out of the West, I'm taking the Denver Nuggets. And I'll tell you why. The Nuggets, although their bench was very short last season and they were hit by the injury bug, they still took the Thunder to a 7th game and had a chance to win Game 7. Yeah. Although I think their talent, and they got fatigued towards the end of Game 7.
And so Aaron Gordon.
So now, and don't forget, Michael Porter Jr. basically played that series with one shoulder. All right, so we have to understand that's how good Nikola Jokic is. If he could have carried that team to a 7th game against the eventual champion Oklahoma City Thunder, what is he going to do this season where he now has probably the best cast of characters surrounding him going into this season? Health, once again, will be a common theme throughout all the topics that we talk about tonight and throughout the NBA season going forward. But I just think you give Nikola Jokic a healthy roster, a deeper roster, I think they will give the Oklahoma City Thunder all they have to offer come the Western Conference playoffs. I wanted to talk about the Houston Rockets, fellas, but the loss of Fred VanVleet and the unknown of Reed Shepherd and Aaron Holiday at the point guard position. I know they're talking about Amen Thompson, who had over 1,000 possessions last season, initiating the offense. The reality is Amen Thompson is not a point guard. Reed Shepherd, as gifted an offensive player as he is coming into this season, doesn't have the experience. And Aaron Holiday is a terrific glue/role player, but I'm not sure those two are good enough to fill the void of that Fred VanVleet leaves for the Rockets. So my choice, long-winded answer, the Denver Nuggets, I think will dethrone the Oklahoma City Thunder, come out of the West, and represent the West in the NBA Finals next June.
Phenomenal. Dwight Walton, we are the X-Rated Sports Network. The show is Beyond the Surface. So I say OKC is going to win it all again. But, Dwight, I loved what you said about Denver. I got a big Denver opinion this year. And I think that they are going to be a problem for Oklahoma City. They already were last year. Love the depth that they added. However, the deepest team in the NBA, and I don't think it's debatable, is the Oklahoma City Thunder. You could also maybe even say they're the most talented team in the NBA, and they just cracked the code. They've got that championship DNA now. Great home court advantage. But you've got, your starters, obviously, Hartenstein, Holmgren, J-Dub, Dort, and SGA. Jaylen Williams is a triple-double every single time the guy starts a game, okay? They're back up big. Kenrich Williams is hurt right now, but he'll be back, and he's a dog 3-and-D guy. Aaron Wiggins had a 40-point game last year. And I want to get to J-Dub with Dr. X here in a minute because this right wrist thing is a little concerning. It's not like long-term. I'm not concerned about it. March, April, May, June, that kind of thing. But going into the season, it's keeping me from drafting him in fantasy basketball right now. I'll tell you that. You have Alex Caruso. The guy was such a difference maker defensively in the playoffs. I felt like they kind of shelled him and rested him and kind of cruise controlled him. And then boom, the playoffs started. It's Caruso time. You have Kaysen Wallace, one of the best steal guys in the NBA, one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA. Nikola Topic, the second-year player, obviously last year with the ACL. He's had some good moments, summer league and preseason. Isaiah Joe's a third stringer on this team, guys. AJ Mitchell got minutes in the finals last year. My guy, Ousmane Dieng, these are third stringers. So OKC is going to be able to mix and match and just get through. Guys, think about this. OKC won the West with 68 wins. The next closest team last year had 52. They won the West by 16 games, guys. I believe that OKC is head and shoulders above the rest of the NBA. And Dwight, I loved what you said. Got to have luck, man. I don't want to mention a name and speak anything into existence, but we know how this goes. Kyrie Irving blows a tire in 2015. Kevin Love got his arm ripped out of the socket by Kelly Olynyk in round 1 against Boston. So you're going up against the 2015 Dubs with no Kyrie and no Love. You got no shot, right? Golden State, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant blow tires, right? Toronto gets a ring. So stuff happens. But barring that stuff happening, I think OKC's got this thing figured out. So Dr. X, Jaylen Williams, okay? We got a report about a week ago. Let me get the date on this. It's not new news, but it's very pertinent news. October, about a week and a half ago. So it's about the start of training camp. ESPN reported Jaylen Williams still not shooting jumpers with his right hand. I'm concerned about that. I mean, that's his shooting hand, and so he had the surgery, so he's gone the entire offseason not shooting at all. So Dr. X and Indizia, I want you guys to talk about this. Am I yelling fire in a theater and there's no fire at all? Or is there something to be concerned about here?
Real quick, what's the return date currently?
So they don't have one.
They don't have one.
Nope, they don't have one.
0. Yeah, well, just so you know, we actually posted on the X-Ray Sports Network, he had a scapholunate ligament disruption or a tear, and that holds the carpal bones. These are all the wrist bones. The scaphoid and the lunate bone are right here. And once it does that, it causes a gap when that ligament is torn. And so that prevents you have instability in your joint. But for encouragement, he had a surgery to repair that ligament. So now there's stability of the joint, but it's this healing. He played with that injury in the finals. So just look at his last 2 games. He played with that injury during the finals. And I don't know if you remember some players, like remember Rashard Lewis had a wrist injury and he came back with the glove. Remember he was playing with the glove?
Yes.
You can if he had to go, he could play with it. Hopefully he's developing his left and he's going to be even more dangerous. But it's a long season. So for fantasy purposes, we probably, you wouldn't draft him, right? Because you don't want to deal with that. But at the same time, as it comes to the season, at this point, they already got 1 ring under their belt. They're all about being healthy in June or healthy by May. And so they're just gonna protect them. I mean, look what they did with Chet Holmgren. He was out with that hip injury. He probably could have came back a little earlier, but they didn't want to rush it. So I think it's encouraging news as a OKC fan, or just they're going to be dangerous, and all they're doing is developing other talented players, giving them reps that they're going to need. And they're just going to be more dangerous as a result.
Once again, this is I'm over here taking notes, Rick, because if you remember me back in the day, Doc already answered the first question. From what the injury is, what is the medical diagnosis on when he should come back from a medical standpoint? That's what the team is going to listen to first. Now, back in the day, we had a thing called reality versus fantasy. So now it's reality versus fantasies, but what you going to put your money on? Why is that? Because Doc answered my second question. He showed he was a dog in the finals, never complained, put that, whatever that tape's called, black tape on his hand, and Doc can help me out with the proper name of the tape's called. He just taped his damn hand up and didn't say nothing. And Rick, you said it, got you a 40 burger with a half a ligament. So now, if you are better, you're betting on him because he got you money in the finals. Fantasy, now Rick, you can educate me. You're dodging a fence because he may miss some games, so that's going to mess up your points, son. Right? Come on now, that's what we do here on X-Rated Sports Network. And in reality, if you're a fan, you're like, hell no, don't play, relax. Save that stuff for the playoffs.
Exactly.
Let's go, relax. No, we want to win another one. So that is now the third vertical I've added to what we do when we all three came together, because that's what life is now. You got people that bet, you got reality, and you got fantasy. So
Great
that's
point,
how
dude.
I look at I look at J-Dub now. Where is your heart? Where is your pocketbook? What game are you playing? That's why you come hang out with us to get all the information.
I love it.
The X-Rated Sports Network, where we go beyond the surface, and that's the name of our show as well. AM and then Dwight. I want to shift gears here, and I certainly want Dr. X and DZ to weigh in on this. Is SGA at the Michael and Kobe level? We know what he did last year. He took everything, scoring title, MVP, all this stuff, right? And was a total badass in the playoffs. Whenever they needed buckets, he got buckets and just always came through, okay? So is it too soon? And I'm not saying like over a decade. I'm saying last year and heading into this year, is he at the Michael and Kobe level or not yet? AM, you first.
Oh, not even close. And this isn't really about an on-court or only an on-court issue, right? I mean, when you ask a question like that, when you bring up the two icons of the game, right? I mean, really, you think about the Mount Rushmore. I mean, one of those is certainly on there, probably both for a lot of people, right? Michael had the man literally had a song named after him. He had an entire world of commercialism built around him, right? I mean, Shea is nowhere near that. And when you're bringing that up, that is where my mind goes, right? The thought process of somebody at that level. I mean, the way he plays, still not Michael level. But at the same time, Kobe, you want to compare him to that? No, still the same thing. I mean, Kobe, two different guys in two different time frames did he win the championships with. When I think about Kobe Bryant, even more than even the NBA, I think about the 2008 Olympics. I think about him going over to China and showing the young guys what it is to be a global superstar when literally a billion people have a nickname for you that nobody's ever even heard of yet, and then they, tell the world, and everybody else who's looking up to him at that point is like, holy cow, didn't even realize that Kobe was, the guy's at the gym at 5 a.m. and he's showing people what it is to really work out and do all of these things. Those guys live in a different level. They live on a different planet of pantheon when we're talking about it. Love SGA. Love him to pieces. Love that what he's become. Love the fact that OKC plucked him out of the Clippers and he became the guy and they won the championship. No, he is not Michael and Kobe level.
Dwight, how about you?
You know what? Of course, me being the Canadian on this panel here, I could be biased towards Shea and say, yes, he is on Michael and Kobe's level. But the reality is that he's not. Now, in terms of his marketability, we see Shea in a ton of commercials, both here in Canada and in, just call it North America overall. He's definitely marketable. He's into fashion. I think he's also crossed into the social media aspects to where he's a good-looking brother, loves fashion. He fits into that mold. From a basketball standpoint, it's unquestioned what he did last season, winning the MVP in every major category that the NBA gave out last season. However, the reason we talk about Mike, Kobe, and the other greats is the level of consistency, the level of greatness that these players put forth overall multiple seasons. Shea has been great, but Shea, the reality is now he has raised the bar even higher for himself, because if he wants to be put into that conversation, into that pantheon that AM is talking about, he has to do it again and again and again. And that is the reality. That was what has to happen. I am very confident that Shea will be consistent over the next several years of his career. Of course, barring injury, of course. I hope that doesn't happen to him. But he has a lot more to accomplish if he wants to be a terrific, historic season last season, but he has to do it again and be consistent with that greatness if he wants to be put into that conversation.
Dr. X, why don't you go next here? You guys are, I'm having fun. You guys are killing it, man. You guys are absolutely killing it.
I'm just going to dissect the game in terms of like if it's aesthetically pleasing. Some of my favorite wings or best players are like Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I think what's just looking at the surface, Shea has the midi game down pat. Like he's tier one with those guys in terms of just the midi game, just that. Turnaround jump shot, I'm not too sure. But the sheer athleticism, if he had like John Morant's athleticism, then I would say it's only a matter of time. That's why everybody's quickly jumping to Anthony Edwards to kind of, they want to like crown him as the next MJ and say, oh, that's probably his son. He looks like him, all these things, right? But I think with Shea, and to Dwight's point, he has to continue to win. It's probably too early right now, but if he were to get a three-peat under his belt, I would say the conversation is closer to where you could put him in that category. But then just the athleticism, I don't see highlight dunks from him. And I know that's a little shallow of me, but that's a part of the aesthetic with Kobe and Jordan, was they had those highlight dunks, kind of like John Morant and Anthony Edwards. So, and that's something he can't add to his game. It's only going to consistently decline year after year. So, but if we're just looking at the only thing Shea can do, he did all he can do at this point. The only thing he can do is win at this point. He has to three-peat. And we haven't seen another player do that since, 2016 Warriors? So, and they didn't even three-peat. They just won back-to-back.
So awesome stuff, Dr. X. DZ, is SGA at either the Michael and or Kobe level?
Now stay with me, guys, because I gotta break it down for you, because it's a great question. So I'm gonna start at the very end and say he's knocking on the door, because it's all about winning. If you're talking about the process, he's right smack in the middle, right behind Jordan, ahead of Kobe. And then Kobe's generation said, what are you talking about, 3? You hating on Kobe? I said, SGA didn't shoot 4 air balls the first time he's in the playoffs. SGA was in the conference finals, so what the hell are you talking about? Crickets. So you forget about the process. Like AM said, Clippers said, nah, we don't want that BS. We want him. Are we paying attention, people? So the talent of the eyeball to go build around, here's the next thing. Well, Jerry Krause knew what he had in MJ. He built that around him, right? Mind up there, Sam Presti do. He's building around SGA. So, Doc, for your perspective, I like, but they told me back when Steph Curry was doing this thing, you couldn't win jump shots being a three-point shooter. Now everybody's trying to shoot threes. So the education to the people that's watching and listening, let's fall in love to the music that SGA's playing with us. He's giving us something different. I said, SGA, why is everything in your life so cool? He said, everything in my life's consistent. Same trainer, mom, dad, same neighborhood, same gym, same girlfriend. I just married her. We just had kids, same car, same homies. Pay attention, people. He goes, Oklahoma City's my family because they're part of my journey. But it's Hamilton, Ontario, or Hamilton, Canada, where he's from. That's his process. So that's why I have to break it down for you, Rick, that way, so people understand when they watch this, every superstar we've fallen in love with, we didn't believe it the first time. We didn't believe it the second time. But that third, fourth, fifth time, we're like, oh my God, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So that's why, for me, I'm enjoying the process, because everything he's shown us has been consistent. That's why it's a phenomenal question.
So appreciate that, DZ. There are some ways that he's on Kobe and Jordan's level right now, and there's ways that he's not. Statistically, he's there. Statistically, he is looking eye to eye with those guys. And I know Kobe had a year where he averaged 36, okay? And Jordan had some years where he's 35, 36. But I'm talking about 35 and 5 with 1 block and 2 steals. Very, very few players. Dwayne Wade wasn't even that guy. He was 25, 5 and 5. Kobe for his career, right? And I'm not saying these guys never averaged 30, but Shea scores 30 every game. And I know it's different, Aaron, all that, but we can't get into those weeds. What he's doing is what he's doing. Okay, he leads the league in 30-point games every year. He's going to average 30 points a game gosh, guys, I don't know, an infinite, like until, like, but it's going to be 5, 6, 7 more years of 30 plus from Shea. Nothing's going to change with that. That's Kobe Jordan level statistically. And I think what he did in terms of just going greedy on it last year, scoring title, MVP, ring, finals MVP, dude, I mean, he just, it's all mine. Okay. And he doesn't like come off as a killer like that, right? He's chill. Doesn't give you a lot of facial expression, not a real demonstrative animated guy, right? Kobe was animated. Michael was animated. We knew when they were pissed. We knew when they were excited. And Shea's different, but he is a killer. We see it. Look at the clutch numbers. Look at what he does in the fourth quarter. And he just knows when, all right, it's my time. Like, you know what I mean? They got a blanket on J-Dub. He's missed 3 shots. It's my time. Okay. So I'm going to go get him right around the foul line and rock back, and they can't stop it. So I love everything you guys are saying. Statistically, he's at their level. I think last year he was at the Kobe Michael level. That's where this question came from. It's like last year, I mean, you can't go north of what he did. And he's one of the only guys ever to like win all of those things, right? So that's Michael Kobe stuff. But and it might have been Dwight, I kind of forget, but to like really firm that up, you got to win again and again and again. And that's just, and so I think a lot of us see eventually a dynasty for this team. It may not be 3 in a row. I don't think he's got a three-peat to get to that level, right? It would help though, right? Because Kobe's got a three-peat, Mike's got 2 three-peats. And certainly that's there for SGA. But glad you guys like that topic. I'm ready to move on to Golden State and LA, unless you guys have another point.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in one small point here. Because of the new collective bargaining agreement with the salary cap and the luxury tax and the first and second aprons, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I know that I can talk about that to a certain degree.
None of us can.
Okay.
Go ahead. You finish your point, Dwight. I got something behind that. Keep going.
So because of the collective bargaining agreement, are we going to see possibilities for dynasties, longevity? If you've noticed, most players that have signed these supermax deals in the NBA haven't stayed with that team that they've signed it. Sam Presti somehow, God bless him, the GM of the Oklahoma City Thunder, has managed to do a fantastic job of managing his roster and their salary cap / first and second apron capability. So kudos to him for that. But again, injuries aside, will the new CBA allow for dynasties to happen for the future here in the NBA? That's my question.
And answer that real question, Dwight, is yes. Sam Presti said, we're not going to make the mistake we made the first time around when we had all that talent and we didn't pay the right people, or we didn't pay them in time when we let them walk away. So they've identified through the draft once again, and Rick knows this because we've talked about it, till this moon comes back, is that you have to draft right, period. You can't get drafts wrong, otherwise it sets you back 5 to sometimes 8 to 10 years. If you draft right, you take care of them. You let them know you love them. You let them know that we'll build a new practice facility. You let them know that we'll build a new arena. You let them know that we'll have chefs and do whatever. Look at what OKC has done with a new practice facility, new arena coming. Look what Orlando's doing for Paolo and all of them. Look at the great franchises who don't fall off long. They know how to take care of their talent. Look what Milwaukee did. They got all 3 brothers on the same team, and let's be 100 on X-Rated Sports Network. The other 2 brothers can't play. Let's stop lying to the people. It's to keep Giannis happy. Neither one of those brothers will be in the damn rotation, and it's not hating on them. Keep working, keep playing hard, but we're trying to win a damn championship, and we're trying to keep Giannis happy. How do you do both? Keep both of his brothers on the roster?
And that's a very easy decision. I said that when all that Bronny stuff was coming out, and people, he doesn't even belong in the league and all that bull crap, right? It's like you sound foolish saying that. He was top 30 rated. He had a first-round grade on him, Bronny James, before the heart stuff, right? And then that sent him to the second round. The guy obviously can play. I mean, he's not great, but I always said, Like, why are you mad about Bronny James? You should be just as mad about Thanasis Antetokounmpo and Kostas Antetokounmpo. If you're going to play that card, like play the card, right? So anyway.
Hey, Rick, I let them play the card, and then I challenged every last one that played them. I said, go in the front office. I said, go in the front office and go in every ownership in the NFL. And if somebody's last name is the same guy that writes a check every day, find me someone different.
Nepotism's everywhere, man. And you know what?
Yeah.
I think it's freaking cool.
Damn right.
To do what he can to hook up his son. Every dad should do that. Oh,
every mom, every dad we know does it until they prove they can't handle it. Then you take the spoon back.
That's it. Everybody likes to get up in everybody else's business, and it's annoying. Let's move on here, guys. It's Beyond the Surface, X-Rated Sports Network, Golden State at the Lakers. Dr. X, you first on this roundtable. Will LeBron James finish this season with the Lakers?
Well, I have a very interesting take. This seems pretty early that I think if this were like, let's say they won, right? The Lakers won last year, and it was ring night for the Lakers. I can guarantee you LeBron would be suited up to play. Every time they're about to do something big, and he kind of tries to test the team to see if they're ready, what they're working with, I feel like he can play, but he wants to see what Luka can do at the steering wheel and with the addition of DeAndre Ayton. And I think he could play, and I think he's literally just sitting out to let the dust settle. And so usually he does this leading up to a trade, and then like half the roster gets traded.
Wow.
So I think he wants to stay in LA, number one, right? I don't know where he would go that would guarantee him a championship. At this point, if he's ring chasing, he has to leave only for the purpose of winning, not for some kumbaya moment, right? So other than that, I really feel like he and Rob Pelinka are just trying to see what they're working with. You know what I mean? Who should they keep? And I think based off of that, he will then come back with a new roster. It's not going to be the current roster.
Can I chime in?
Yes.
I'm gonna chime in here. What I want to say here on this platform, and this has been bothering me for years. Whenever it comes to an injury to LeBron James, his injuries seem to be non-negotiable. They don't believe it. They think he's faking. Now, listen, have there been instances to where he tries to dupe officials, tries to dupe the fans / media alike with how severe his injuries are? Okay, I'll give in to that. I'll hold him accountable for that. But in terms of this, Dr. Phil, you should know what a sciatica injury is. At the end of the day, he is 40 years old. He's going to be 41 in end of December, going into his 23rd season in the NBA. He's allowed to have bumps and bruises. This notion that he's testing the Lakers this season to see how they do, he's running out of time, fellas. He doesn't want to waste any time. The reason why he's still playing is because A, he loves his job, and B, he wants to win a championship. It's about the process with this guy, all right? We can discuss how people hate on him, this, that, and the third. But LeBron James is about winning. He's trying to add to his legacy. He has nothing to prove. That's already been established. But again, he plays because he loves the process, loves his job, and wants to win. This notion that he's trying to see what Luka and this roster can do before he comes back makes zero sense to me. The Lakers, if he and Luka Doncic, who are top 10 players on the same roster, yeah, LeBron is going to be 41, but LeBron was second team All-NBA last year. He is not close to retirement. This guy can play until he's 50, as far as I'm concerned, if he can suppress his ego and play 8 to 12 minutes a game 9 years from now. He could still help a roster. That's how much he loves this job. All right, so he is not faking an injury. He's not trying to test how Luka and Austin Reeves and Jake LaRavia and DeAndre Ayton do. That's crazy talk to me. He wants to be out there. And believe me, If he had a chance to be out there, he'll be out there. And I will say this, had the playoffs started today, Phil, to your point, he'd be playing. No question about it. But he is 41, and he sees the long goal here. He legitimately thinks in his mind that this Lakers roster, with a few tweaks here and there at the trade deadline, will be competing for the Western Conference Championship if he, Luka, Austin Rivers, and the rest of that roster are relatively healthy going into next spring's Western Conference playoffs.
Rick, if I could chime in here for a second.
Yeah. Please get in the middle of family business here.
We got to mediate here for sure. I want to say this. I love the question. I really do. Why? Because it evokes such an emotional response. Dwight, case in point right there.
You sound like a Laker fan.
Unemotional.
Yeah.
You know who's unemotional? Vegas. And Vegas has the Lakers, as of today, on the cusp of the season, 13-1 to win the title. They're in the top 6, top 7 of the teams. And that might surprise a lot of people, right? Even with the roster, how it's constructed. Your question, Rick, just going back to it, is will LeBron finish the season on the Lakers? A question like that, I mean, obviously, again, it evokes a lot of emotion, but it often is asked when a player who is so far and above the team, when you're looking at a team that has no chance of competing and the trade deadline shows up in February, or what else might happen and somebody's going to ship them out, we got to make moves and all of that. Not what Vegas thinks this year, right? They're looking at this as an absolute competitive team in the West, at least top 6, and they're minus in the category to win their division in the West. So you think about all of that, LeBron's not going anywhere, and especially 52.6 million reasons why he wouldn't otherwise have to go anywhere, and he can be the one to dictate what's happening. I say he stays on the Lakers through the entire season. We're going to see what happens after that. Now, he's off the books next year. Rui's off the books next year. A couple other guys are off the books next year. Conversation for another time. 25, 26, LeBron stays on the Lakers. Now, at that point, if you don't mind, then forgive me because I hate to do it. I really must leave, gentlemen. This has been a wonderful first stepping stone journey. And please, I'll be watching the rest of this. I can't wait to watch it later for the rest of you. Finish this out, and I can't wait to join you for the next show. A great maiden voyage. Thank you for having me on. It's been an early honor, and I look forward to continuing after this.
Thank you, AM.
Thank you, guys.
Rick,
AM, you the man. Thank you for saying that, man. Really appreciate that. All right, DZ, come on, man. Let's go. Does LeBron finish the season in the purple and gold?
Well, Dwight gave me a lot to unfold. So the first thing
he always does.
No, this is why I love it. The first thing is the ego. He's not playing Dwight because LeBron's ego, if you go back to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, etc., right? Because he saw Dwayne Wade, he saw Bosh, he saw the supporting cast, so he envisioned that he's going to win. Last year, everyone that said everything you just said, I said the Lakers will probably get swept in the first round of the playoffs. What happened in the playoffs this past playoffs, Rick? What happened to them in the playoffs?
5 games.
Gentlemen's sweep.
Exactly right. What you said.
So they got a gentleman's 1 win, but in that 1 win, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. So what I'm trying to get you to understand, I said to all Lakers fans, don't get your emotions confused on loving LeBron and being year 21. Yes, that's great, but that's not the same LeBron that carries power. When he went to Miami, went back to Cleveland, he still controlled
because
Recording in
they
progress.
need to be able to fill out the roster.
Because why? I know.
For a championship. No?
Because he's not LeBron no more.
Okay, that too. Yes, he is not going to command that kind of money because he is no longer LeBron James.
So you just answered your question. You see what I'm saying?
Correct. So not only is it not the Lakers, 3D, it's also the Cleveland Cavaliers, the New York Knicks. Who else could he? The LA Clippers.
So to your point is, you have to get it right. So
yes.
If LeBron really wanted to win, he would have opted out and said, here you go, Ron. I'm going to opt out. Here's money. Go get some more people and I'll sign for less.
But hold on, 3D. Hold on a second. The one thing I don't want to do, and I understand, I hear what you're saying. The one thing I don't want to do is
hold on. I got to stop you, Dwight, because you're him behind. Hey, Doc. What did Jalen Brunson do for the Knicks?
He took less.
What did Jalen Brunson do for the Knicks?
Took less.
He left $144 million on the table, and he's 20 years younger than LeBron. You sound like a Laker fan that don't want to hear the facts, Dwight.
No.
Did you hear what Kevin Durant just did? He left $30 million on the table. He could have gotten 120. He took 90.
And he's already made $590 million.
Hold on.
LeBron's no, Dwight, I can't let you off the hook. LeBron's already a billionaire. So you tell me a billionaire can't give $50 million back because he wants to win a championship? If he wins a championship, he gets another $500 million in endorsements. Do the math.
No, and you're definitely right. That's what I'm saying is I don't want to dig into another man's pocket. But to your point, I get it. And that's why LeBron has a decision to make next season. Whatever team he plays for, that money he's making that season is coming way down if the goal is to win a championship. Listen, everybody knows I'm a LeBron advocate. I'm not going to hide that. But at the same time, LeBron understands the landscape after this season, which could be in part the reason why he took the money now. He doesn't need the money. We understand that. But he also knows going forward that whatever roster he's on next season, he is not going to get that type of money ever again. But to your point, if he's truly about winning, maybe he should have taken a pay cut, not only this season, but going forward.
Last thing to add there, Rick, as we go, that's why I love this conversation. You're around Luka. Where else would you want to be for the next 3 or 4 years to try to win a championship?
Yeah. So to me, Golden State is going to be the destination here. He's in Cali. He's a short flight from LA. That's where his family is. It's where his production company is. I believe Spring Hill Co. is in LA. I think Dr. Phil said earlier that he doesn't want to leave LA. I completely believe that, but he's going to have to. Because the Lakers, they changed ownership. The Lakers are viewing this as LeBron's last year in a Laker uniform, which means they don't even want him right now. If you've made that decision for the future, that means they don't want you now. That means you opted in and you jammed up their books. Do you guys think the Washington Wizards want Chris Middleton at $30+ million a year? But he opted into his contract and now they're stuck with him. So and by the way, this has been phenomenal. I believe that LeBron James is setting this up for a season of drama. I don't think that it's as simple as an injury. There was also a report, I think through Shams or one of the big boys or girls, that LeBron's kind of taking a wait and see approach with how the Lakers look, right? So marry that with all the great stuff you guys are saying. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I just think LeBron's pissed. Like, okay, you want to take the steering wheel out of my hand on personnel, right? Because remember, the Russell Westbrook thing was a disaster. That was a LeBron production. There were other personnel stuff that he and Anthony Davis and Clutch Sports orchestrated that did not work at all. And Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka said, give me that. And they took the steering wheel back, right? LeBron bristled about that a little bit, but ultimately I think found peace with that. But you still have to bring him in concert with big moves that happen with the team. Right? Like, okay, Luke is your dude now, right? But come on, man. This guy brought you a chip. He's LeBron freaking James. So I think he feels a little disrespected, a little cut out. Like you were dealing me in. I was at the dinner table here, and now you got me at the kids' table over here for Thanksgiving. And this is LeBron James we're talking about here. So I think GSW is the move. And think about it, guys. Jonathan Kuminga. Wouldn't he look good in a Laker uniform? Okay. You have Brandon Pajemski. You have Trace Jackson Davis, who I love. Steve Kerr hates. All right. Quinn Post is a young big that DZ, I don't know. He looks wetter-ish. Maybe he gets the full wetter from you, but that kid can freaking shoot. Okay. So Golden State has young pieces that they can send up to. Kuminga doesn't want to be there anyway. Golden State doesn't want him there. Okay. They paid him to trade him.
Hey, Rick. So you're telling me that it's Steph on his last leg, LeBron on his last ankle, Draymond hanging on by his chinny chin, and
Yes,
two young guys. And two young guys are supposed to be OKC, and they're supposed to be. Hold on, who's going to check Ant-Man? If they play Minnesota, they
have D'Anthony Melton. They have D'Anthony Melton. He's chilling.
Who he play for?
D'Anthony Melton.
Let's Charles say who he play for.
That's why I think Cleveland.
Yeah.
DZ, to your point.
Yeah.
I think Cleveland is the roster to me for obvious reasons. He's from the area. He's done it before, and I think if he's spoken to in a respectful manner, and they come to him and say, "Listen, man, you're a plug and play. Are you willing to accept a role on this roster?" I think if LeBron goes to Cleveland, and they keep their cast of characters right now. You're telling me you plug in LeBron with Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Lonzo Ball, all the shooters that they have, Sam Merrill. I forget the other present on the roster right now. You're telling me Cleveland isn't the roster if I'm LeBron that I wouldn't want to go to?
Hey, Dwight. Hey, that reminds me of when Shaq went to Miami and it was all D Wade's team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it reminds me of. And all those shooters they had around D Wade. Lonzo Mourning was older. Gary Payton was older. But the core 2 or 3 young guys was D Wade was on fire at the time. So to your point, Dwight, I like where you're going with that. The question is, because I know Rick's thinking, which one of those bigs probably have to either move to the side? You probably lose one of the bigs in that move. But at least that makes sense because all the pressure and all the, as we say, the workload is still on Garden and Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting who Cleveland would give up. Craig Porter Jr. is a nice young piece. Jalen Tyson's a nice young piece. They've got some other guys, but you got to make the money work too. So you got to send money out to match the 52 and or at least within that percentile. Interesting stuff, guys. Let's move on here. It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Rick Kamla, the great splasher, 3D, Dennis Scott, Dwight Walton, Canadian basketball legend, and Dr. Phil McDonald, a.k.a. Dr. X, a.k.a. the Patriarch. So we talked a little bit about this. We talked about, are the Thunder going to repeat and all that kind of stuff. So, Doc, you first on this one in terms of give me an East winner. So essentially we're talking about the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. So give me those 2 teams and the winner that will ultimately go to the finals as we get into some predictions here.
Yeah, I mean, for the West, I have OKC. It's a safe pick. It's the fair pick. It's the respectful pick. We already went through that on why. But I think chemistry is really going to go in their favor. And as you said, Rick, they unlock their championship DNA. And so I think I'm going to put them there for now. And I'm looking at the East. I only see 2 teams. All I see is Cleveland and I see the Knicks. But the problem with the Knicks is they're relatively new in several ways. They got a new bench, but they also have a new playing style that they're all adjusting to. And I went to a couple games. I know it's preseason. I know it's early, so I don't want to be like that Knicks fan. We take one, ounce of news and we run with it, and we think it's all doom and gloom, or it's a three-peat on the way. You know what I mean? It's either or. And then so I don't want to be that Knicks fan, but there's two other teams in the East that I'm not sleeping on that kind of had our number last year, and that's Atlanta and that's Orlando. They play great defense. They're only going to be better with, like, for Atlanta, for example, Kristaps Porzingis. I'm not sure how many minutes he's going to play. I'm not sure if he's going to be healthy the whole time, but barring injury, I believe that the Atlanta Hawks are going to give the Knicks some problems, as well as the Orlando Magic. I think they're going to give us a hell of a lot of problems. They don't even have both Wagner brothers, but they were ready. They wanted all the smoke. You know what I mean? And the coach, they take on that coach's personality, kind of like the same coach for Houston, the way that the Houston coach plays and the Boston coach. He has that same DNA where he's almost like he's a sixth player on the floor every time. So they play with that intensity. And I just hope that the Knicks can adjust. I'm pretty good at reading energy, but I don't want to be too be one of those guys, their energy is off and all that stuff. But I have to see it. On paper, yes, the Knicks have a chance. But to me, Cleveland, the only thing that gives me some doubt about Cleveland is the fact that they choked. I wouldn't say choked, but they had injuries, right, against Indiana Pacers. And then secondly, when they did play the Knicks, Dwight, you and I were at that game in the playoffs. Their roster wasn't much different, but it was a young Evan Mobley, right? But they didn't really have a chance. The Knicks I think they beat them in 5, I believe. And then now they lost Ty Jerome, which is a huge loss. Max Strus is out with injuries. He seems to be a little injury prone. And so with that said, Evan Mobley really has to take that next jump. And so to your point, I think Cleveland is a great team and would be a great spot for LeBron. They almost look like the Miami Heat if you squint. Dwayne Wade always kind of looked like Donovan Mitchell. Evan Mobley's kind of like Chris Bosh, has a lot of potential. You just want him to play harder. You want him to dunk on everybody. But to his credit, he got Defensive Player of the Year. So he's doing his part. And so Lonzo Ball, we don't know how he fits. We don't know the arc of his career yet. We're not sure where that goes. Is he going to be the next Jason Kidd, like at the tail end of his career? That would be great because Jason Kidd hit the open 3 and got everybody involved. So I'm scared of Cleveland, Orlando, and Atlanta. And so I still have the Knicks winning out because they do have some chemistry together. And I do like the system they're running. I'm not sure if they're probably a trade away, nothing big, but just a little tweaking trade to be in the finals. So it would be the Knicks versus OKC. And I hate to say it, but if that were to match up, OKC had a number last year. I would say OKC wins in 6.
Awesome job, man. Dwight, let me get you cranked up here, dude. Talk to me about East winner, West winner, and ultimate champion.
Well, I'm not going to go away from my prediction. This is not disrespectful towards the Thunder, Rick, none whatsoever. But I'm going to go with how the league has trended over the last 8 years. As good and as young as the Thunder are, and as deep as their roster is right now, a lot has to happen for a team to repeat. There's a reason why a team hasn't repeated in 8 years. It has to go perfect again. I don't see the Thunder winning 68 games again this season. I don't think they want to. I think because of their experience last year and because of their youth, they were able to withstand playing hard every night. Will they play hard every night this season? I don't know. But if you're a championship team and you have championship goals, you have to win a game or 2 on the road anyway. So are they going to go all out this season and win the Western Conference? That remains to be seen. But that being said, Denver, Nikola Jokic, I'm already on record for the past several years saying he's the most skilled center that the game of basketball has ever seen. And I never said he's the best center of all time. I just think he's the most skilled center of all time. And with the injury depleted and lack of depth roster the Nuggets had last season, they took the Thunder to a 7th game on the road. And I just think the injuries and fatigue played a factor in them not being able to compete in the second half against the Thunder of Game 7. So to me, I think the Nuggets are they're primed right now, as far as I'm concerned, to dethrone the Thunder in the Western Conference. Going over to the East, there's a lot of pressure on Mike Brown and the Knicks. The floor is 50 wins and getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, meaning the only way the fans and the front office are going to be satisfied with the hiring of Mike Brown is to knock the door down and get to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1973. And because all the pressure is heaped on to the Knicks right now, and because of the injuries to the elite teams in the East, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, the departure and the injury of Damian Lillard from Milwaukee, all eyes are on the Knicks. Can they survive? Can they push through, if you will, to get to the finals? It is their conference to lose, and having all that pressure on them, can they withstand? Can they stand prosperity? Can they get back to the Eastern Conference? We can talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, to me, for as good as their roster is, they seem to lack that oomph, that toughness, getting those tough rebounds when it's needed. Yes, they've got great rim protection in Mobley and Jared Allen, but there's something missing with them for me that I can't describe. They've got great talent. Health was a concern for them last playoffs. It's a concern going into this season. Can they get healthy at the right time and be successful? That remains to be seen. Do the Detroit Pistons and the Orlando Magic have an Indiana Pacer run in them to be a surprise and get to the Eastern Conference Finals? That remains to be seen. Orlando did a great job by acquiring Desmond Bane, but still, to me, the Magic's lack of three-point shooting is going to be a concern come playoff time. The Pistons are tough. They gave the Knicks a great series, but they still came up short. Can they expand on what happened last year, excuse me? That remains to be seen. So to me, it's a two-horse race. Let's see how Milwaukee does. That's another topic for another day with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Miles Turner, and that crew. Can they sort of spoil the party for the top of the East if we're concerned here? And the Philadelphia 76ers, what can they do? But I think it's the Knicks conference to lose. Can they kick the door down is my concern. There's going to be a heap of pressure on them, but they should come out of the Eastern Conference this season because everything is pointing to them in that direction. A lot of breaks have happened for them. Let's see if Mike Brown can get them over the hump and into the NBA Finals.
Easy, you know what time it is, man.
Man, the first thing that comes to mind, Dwight, I'll say it for you since you didn't know how to say it. As much as I loved Cleveland last year, they were soft as tissue paper, wiping your booty with it. That's why they can't win. They don't have no dog in them. And I've asked each player, I said, wait a minute, DeAndre Hunter, you're not playing because of what? Because of your thumb? Steph Curry, now I can talk about it. Steph Curry's thumb was it would look like 7 thumbs. but those are the type of things I couldn't say because, Rick, you know me, I date 3D, we'll let you go, big shame, shout out to Raymond Ritter. I would be in there watching the finger get taped, but I can't say it looked like 7 thumbs.
Yeah. They don't want that getting out.
And you're not playing? And you're not playing DeAndre Hunter? Oh, wait a minute. Evan Mobley, he's not playing. He tweaked his ankle. I didn't run to the board, and Doc showed me where the ligament displaced from the ankle, and he didn't play. Then that makes sense. He shouldn't play. As a Cleveland Cavalier fan, you wouldn't be mad because, no, you don't want nobody to be bodily harmed, period. But not a tweak. So I had to get it off my chest because I rode that Cleveland Cavalier horse all season long. me and Kenny Atkinson, we played against each other in college at Richmond. He beat my Georgia Tech team back in the day. So he loves smearing that in my face. So I was pulling for them because I love the energy. But as the season went on, I said, damn, they soft. Mm-hmm. So to your point, Dwight, I hope Mike Brown gets this right. I really hope he gets it right. I really does, because we know when New York's relevant, basketball's relevant, as much energy. Everybody wants to be in New York. As hot as it is in Miami, as much stars it is in New York. But when the Knicks, LA, but when the Knicks are hot, Eastern Conference Final or possibly the finals, that's when the whole world is watching. And I hope Mike Brown gets it right. And it's all about managing that bench. Well, Tibbs, rest easy, Tibbs, but it is what it is now. But that's what it is. You got to make sure your core 6 or 7 is ready to go at the core point of the season when the playoffs get in to finish the deal. That's the East. The West, sticking with OKC. Everything you said, Dwight, is pretty much to my point. They went through enough last year playing small ball, both centers being hurt. Mm-hmm. Even Caruso was hurt. The only person that didn't get hurt makes me nervous. SGA didn't get hurt. So that makes me nervous. Mm-hmm. When you go look at the roster, Rick, everybody missed 2 or 3. SGA missed 1 game because of rest.
J-Dub missed a chunk last year.
Exactly. Everybody's the only one. He's the only one. Even bench guy. Even Casey Wallace missed some games.
Right.
Injury.
Yes.
So when I did my homework, I said, oh my God. SGA pretty much played all 82, but on the book it says 81 because they made him rest again late in the season. They made him rest. So to your point, Dwight, the last point to that, are you still hungry? And are you ready to be hunted? That's it.
Mm-hmm. Man, I love all this.
Nice.
So, Dwight, when you were talking about Cleveland and you were like, there's something about them that I just can't, quite quantify. And DZ said exactly what I was going to say. Okay. They're talented. They're deep. They're well coached. They've got shooting. They're an elite defensive. They got every base covered except one: intangibles. And I like Donovan Mitchell's intangibles. I think Donovan Mitchell's a killer, okay? Yes. But that's only one guy. Like, Evan Mobley, to me, is not a killer. I love him, but he's just not – he's a little bit too laid back for me. Jared Allen, too laid back for me. They're not dogs. They're terrific players, but they're not dogs. Darius Garland, hotshot point guard. He has a certified wetter. We know this, but he's not a dog. Max Strus is not a dog. DeAndre Hunter is not a dog. Lonzo Ball is not a.
And the point, for some of the, new viewers to the show and this platform, what Lou Dort showed everybody, he's a dog. I don't need to go get 30. I'm going to pick you up 94 feet every night. I'm going to be in your jockstrap like a bad itch. If you don't like it, I don't care. I'm going to be still picking you up. Oh, wait a minute. Dort goes out the game, and then Casey Wallace says, well, guess what? With my nonchalant, long little arm, I'm picking your ass up full court too. I'm going to be a dog. That's what Rick's talking about. You go down the roster, Wiggins. He didn't play for a whole series, and he came in and give you 40. Mm-hmm. So that's what Cleveland's missing. And I think Knicks have it. And Rick, to your point, the Western Conference, certain teams have a couple dogs. Like to your point earlier, Dwight, I love Cleveland's dogs, but do their supporting pieces match those dogs?
So New York's got tons of dogs.
Yes.
They have time. I mean, yes. Cat's not a dog, but OG's a dog. Mikal flirts with being a dog. Brunson's
a quiet dog. Yeah, he's a quiet dog.
He's a quiet dog. Brunson, he may be the doggiest cat in the league. DZ, we haven't hung in a while. Brunson's my favorite player in the NBA. Number one, top of the heap. And you know why, DZ. Moxie. It's really intangibles, right?
Oh, but don't forget that one word, though. Winner.
Well, that comes from all this, but yeah,
you gotta say it though. But Rick, I'm sorry to cut you off, and the way and Doc know that the reason we have to remind is for the new viewers for this platform that Jaylen's been a winner since high school, McDonald's All-American, Player of the Year, state championship, 2 NCAA championships, and they said he couldn't play, and he gets drafted. That's the part that we get caught up to, and this is why I love what Doc said earlier. I don't think I've ever seen Jaylen dunk a basketball since maybe AAU, but he's winning.
Winning.
That's key.
DZ, we covered that draft. We were working for the NBA. We were at Barclays for the Trae Young, Luka draft, the Ayton draft, the Bagley draft, and the Jalen Brunson draft. And a lot going on. You know, bullets are flying and stuff, but I don't know if you remember, Brunson goes early second round, and I'm like, what is wrong with this league?
We both did.
What is wrong with this league? I get not being top 10 because the measurables and, you know, they like these big strapping physical specimens. We get it, right? We get it. Dude, y'all overthought that. I almost cussed. Y'all overthought that, okay? Because this guy's, he gets his shot off anytime he wants against anybody. Okay, pump fakes and all these little spin moves and show and goes and like the craftiness is off the charts. But so on the Knicks, guys, the reason that I've got them winning the East, and Dr. X, to your point, I got OKC beating the Knicks in the finals, but it ain't by much, brother. And I want to actually pick the Knicks. I do. For some of the stuff Dwight's been saying, we know historically it's just hard to repeat, dude. You got to have a lot of stuff aligned for you again. And it looks like that's going to happen, but it might not. But New York, to me, is right there. The Yabusele ad, to me, was huge. The Jordan Clarkson ad, it's one of my favorite ads of the entire offseason. I think he's going to win Sixth Man of the Year.
That's smart. Thank you. Keep going.
Good call. Good call.
You have Miles McBride. He's inconsistent, but he's good, right? I mean, he's good in his role.
Timely shot maker. I call him timely shot maker.
It's exactly right.
Timely shot maker, yes.
Mike Brown is putting a banana in the tailpipe here. He's going to bring Josh Hart off the bench when he's healthy, and he's going to start Mitchell Robinson. That's what he did the first couple of games, and then like Hart got hurt, right, in that first preseason game in Abu Dhabi. But there was already talk about it. And then first game, you know, they treated it like a dress rehearsal, and Hart was off the bench. And Hart didn't seem real happy about it, to be honest with you. But if your bench is Jordan Clarkson, Miles McBride, Josh Hart, Gershon Yabusele, I don't even care who the 10th guy is. I don't. Like, you're 9 stud deep. So that's why, to me, New York's going to – I thought their bench killed them last year, or lack thereof. And obviously, I'm a big Tibbs guy. I love the no-load management. Oh, you turned your ankle? Well, I still need 30 minutes from you tonight, so don't get it twisted here. This isn't a night off for you, bro. Right? I love all that stuff. And Tibbs was the only cat in the league getting away with that. 1 out of 30 coaches in the entire NBA could do that. Ime Udoka can't even do it quite like that.
Well, Ime, your boy Ime tries, though. You know Ime. Dude, Ime tries.
And DZ, you know Ime is my guy. I love Ime Udoka.
Every time I got Ime, don't get mad at me, but every time I got a Rocket game, I got all the rocket fuel juice. I just couldn't take it to air.
Question for you, Rick. We're talking about, because we could talk about the 6th Man of the Year. Now, depending on who Mike Brown starts, who is the starting 2 guard for the Knicks if it's not Josh Hart?
So you're going to go Brunson, Mikal Bridges is the 2, OG's the 3, Cat's the 4, Mitchell Robinson's the 5.
Okay,
and so you guys saw in the playoffs last year, the Cat Robinson thing was pretty good at stretches in the playoffs last year.
So to me now, it's that could be an interesting 1-2 race for 6th Man of the Year between Josh Hart and Jordan Clarkson. And the reason why I say that, Clarkson can be a great scorer, which is why the Knicks signed him. But he doesn't bring the intangibles that Josh Hart does. Josh Hart can get you a double-double off the bench. Jordan Clarkson is not going to do that. Josh Hart is going to compete like crazy. One of the best rebounders for a player his size in recent NBA history. He's that good of a rebounder, and diving on the floor, playing hurt, to DZ's point, that the Cavaliers wouldn't do. We're talking about a player that gives his body also a winner at Villanova as well. So all those intangibles that Josh Hart brings to the table for the Knicks, Jordan Clarkson will also bring it from a different standpoint. So I think we could be talking, at least in the top 5 for Sixth Man of the Year next season, Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson. Take your pick. And that's why the Knicks, if they play their cards right this year, it is their time to kick the door down and get out of the Eastern Conference and get to the NBA Finals.
Well, the only thing I'd add to that, Rick, for diehard Knicks fans, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, because this is what you got to watch for. It's not about who starts. This is coming from the inner player in me, and I remember being there. The ego wants you to start. I'm going to say this again. The ego wants you to start. There's 3 minutes left in the game. It's time to go win the game. The coach is going to put his best 5 guys on the floor to win the game. And when my name wasn't called in that situation, that pissed me off. Where am I going with this? Dwight, you've been there before you played. Yep. Offense, defense. Oh, we're down 5. I got to go with this lineup. Oh, I'm up by 7. I got to go with this lineup. Whatever that scenario may be, Knicks fan, make sure Mike Brown gets it right with what 5 guys to finish the ball game to win. That's the most important 5, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I love that take, man. That is the great Dennis Scott, one of the great three-point shooters in league history, one of the great guys on planet Earth. We have Dr. Phil McDonald. He is the patriarch. He set this whole thing up. This is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. We have Dwight Walton as well, Canadian basketball legend and overall repper of all things Canada. Should we get into a Dylan Brooks? No. All right, let's.
That's a different show. Different show. Different show. Villains.
Well, hold on. Let's. Oh, he plays for Phoenix now. So, but maybe on Friday we'll be talking about Dylan Brooks took somebody out in a Wednesday game or something. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Guys, I want to get us going here on MVP. To me, it comes down to 2 guys. SGA's not going to do the MVP thing again. I just don't think he is. I think he'll be like 3rd or 5th or 4th or something. But to go quite as bombastic and spectacular as last year, I'm going to bet against it. But so I think Jokic, because I love Denver this year. I think Denver is going to win 55, 56, 57 games, some big number. They'll be second behind OKC. But DZ, I've been calling out Luka Doncic for years. Okay. I love him. I do, but you can be critical of what you love. All right. Mm-hmm. And it's always been fair criticism. All right. And it started with complaining at the refs all the time. Right. Yep. Like all the time. Like, dude, stop the brat thing. You're in the backcourt talking to a ref who's not even listening. He's running up the court. Okay. So you're not even getting your point across. And now your team is shorthanded like it's a hockey game and the other team is a power play. Okay. Like that pissed me off to no end. Any platform that was available to me, I was talking about Luka, and he's got to fix that, right? Let's then advance to the NBA Finals when Dallas loses to Boston. I criticized the heck out of Luka for several reasons. He was not serious enough. Okay, he's out there laughing, and I got foul number 4. Oops, sorry. Like, no, what are you doing? This is the finals, bro. There's no smiles. There's none. Not even after you win. I don't know. I'm just that. The job ain't done yet. Like, remember Kobe at that presser back in the day, and they were asking me, he's like, job ain't done. DZ, you and I might have been covering that press conference for NBA TV. I think we were actually, but he's like, he had that pissed off look on his face. He's like, he hated the questions. Like, Kobe gets all that stuff going. And he's like, job ain't finished yet. And that was, and then he just stared at the reporter. That's the mindset you have to have. Okay. He wasn't serious enough. And when you're not serious enough, you don't get into good enough shape. And when you're not in good enough shape, you suck defensively. All right. So all of this stuff is a chain of events for Luka. So I've been banging on him and banging on him and banging on him. And then guess what? This summer happens, and he goes from literally looking like James Corden's brother Okay, like puffy, doughy, like is it photoshopped or bro, are you really that fat? What is happening right now? Okay, then he's on the cover of Men's Freaking Health, right? Kind of doing a crossover thing, and his arms look ripped, and then you keep seeing like, and then it was like, all right, that's cool, but it's the middle of the summer. He could still get fat and drink a bunch of beer and whatever, okay, but he still looks svelte. He looks amazing. The stat lines at Eurobasket were phenomenal. The stat lines in the preseason have been phenomenal. Guys, I think he's going to average 34 or 35 points a game. He's going to probably miss a triple-double by like half a stat, like 9.5 rebounds, 10.1 assists. So he's going to flirt with a triple-double. We're going to be talking about it all year, him and Jokic. But ultimately, I think Luka, he's going to be a hot shot for the Lakers. We know how that draws people in and all that kind of stuff. So Luka's my MVP. DZ, I want to go, actually, Dr. X, I want to go to you next on this. Who's your MVP this year?
Man, I agree with your point about SGA. They're probably going to protect him more with minutes. They're not going to, if there's games in the balances, I think he's still going to get his numbers, but I also believe there was some voter fatigue. And as a result, he was primed and ready to win it. He never averaged a double-double and assist. His rebounds are okay, but they're not jumping off the screen. But his percentages, field goal percentage, and the way he plays the game, his consistency, SGA deserved to win. But I think Jokic is up there, but I also think Kevin Durant. Everybody thinks that the Houston Rockets are going to be playing very well. So their success, I think it's about team success for the West Coast. For the West Coast players that I think are right there. And I think Kevin Durant is going to be my lead person for that. Because if the Rockets can be successful in terms of record-wise, his percentages are going to jump off the screen. He's likely going to average a double-double. He's going to be he's a good underrated shot blocker. And then also he's playing shooting guard. There's some lineups that are just ridiculous where he might even be point guard bringing it up. You know what I mean? So I think KD is in position, and just the way Ime Udoka plays the game, I think he's going to demand excellence from everybody. It's going to make everybody better, and KD shines in that. I mean, just looking at him with Team USA and other situations, he's like a quiet assassin. I mean, with the Golden State Warriors, he got Finals MVP, not Steph. You get what I'm saying? So I think if his numbers, he's always 40, 50, 90, right? So you can't argue with that. And so added the other voter fatigue factor in there. So people may not pick Nikola Jokic, but I think he'll be right there. So I'm going to go with KD in the West versus obviously Jaylen Brunson. So if the Knicks have success at this faster paced basketball, which I don't think favors Jaylen Brunson, unless the game is in the balances and it's the fourth quarter and he has to kind of take over, then I think that Jaylen Brunson, depending on the success of the Knicks by record, would likely be up there as well. And then based off of that, there might be some, you never know, because it's down to you guys, Rick, like the voters. We don't get a vote. It's the media, right? So ultimately, I'm not sure who they're going to vote for, KD, or, if it's a homer pick, if it's a Knicks fan, they want to see the Knicks elevate to the level, and they respect what Jaylen Brunson's doing, so they're going to vote for Jaylen. So ultimately, I'm going to go with, I want Jaylen Brunson to win it, but I'd be very happy if KD won it. And I'm going to say, in terms of record, it's going to be the Rockets. And so I'm going with KD as the MVP.
Wow. Extraordinary. I did not. That's the first KD MVP call I've heard in like all the shows I've been doing lately and all the buildup. I love that take. All right, Dwight, you're up next, man. MVP of the NBA this year.
I want to say this. Phil and I did not discuss our choices before this show started, and Durant is definitely in my top three. And reasons why. Yes, the Rockets finished second in the Western Conference last season, but they were missing a player like Kevin Durant to get them through a very competitive Western Conference. So now, record-wise, is going to be important in the regular season. And I know this does not include the playoffs. But it's about aesthetics. If the Rockets look better with Kevin Durant, the voters are going to see that. They will acknowledge that. It's the impact on winning, the impact on the roster. I don't think Durant's going to win it. I said he's in the conversation. We are forgetting about one very important person. And I know his name has been in the news in terms of him wanting to win a championship and that the roster needs to be conducive to winning a championship. But Giannis Antetokounmpo is a motivated player in the NBA. He is going to average 30. He's going to average 12 rebounds. And he's definitely going to be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. So if the Bucks, who are not being spoken about very glowingly right now, if the Bucks can somehow finagle their way into a top 3 or 4 finish in the Eastern Conference and are making life uncomfortable for the Knicks, for the Cavaliers, and whomever that 3rd or 4th team is in the Eastern Conference, and based on the Bucks' record, and stats do matter, I think Antetokounmpo will definitely put himself in the conversation. But all that to say, I just think Nikola Jokic, who should have won the MVP last season, and I'm Canadian, I'm an SGA fan, I just think the impact on winning that Jokic brings to the table. Yes, he's not a great defensive player. I think he's a very good positional player. I think he's a very good scouting report player in terms of his defensive prowess or lack thereof. I just think Jokic's impact on winning and the mere fact he took his depleted roster to a 7-game series against the Thunder last season, he is primed, he is ready. I think he's going to have a fantastic season again. We're going to see even more statistics to where he might average a triple-double again. I just think it's his award to lose. I just think it's going to be him, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and SGA will be flirting around somewhere in the top 5. But I have so much respect and admiration for Nikola Jokic. I think it's his MVP award to lose this season.
Easy. We got a Jokic from Dwight. We got a Durant from Dr. X. You got a Luka from me. Who you got for MVP?
Once again, I like going last because as a voter, I've never gotten voter fatigue. I've never gotten voter drunk. I just call it like I see it. So I'm on record as the Joker being one of my favorite players. But this past year, what SGA went through with playing with less and all the things that you said, SGA's never been a defensive liability. So instead of him getting a 5 in that category, he gets a 1. So you cannot do that. It goes back to all the triple doubles with Russell Westbrook. He won all those damn triple doubles, but he couldn't win. So we got to go back to that's what it comes down to getting over that hump. When the Joker was winning, wasn't nobody saying anything. So now here's the caveat to our conversation of MVP. Because every year we come down to winning, impact, availability. Oh, wait a minute, impact. In the Eastern Conference, can Jaylen Brunson have the same impact he had last year again? Because hands down, all year long, his impact and what he did for the Knicks was like, OMG. Anybody who didn't like Jaylen Brunson was like, man, how can I run Jaylen Brunson? I said, you might can, but he's still going to score on you. I said, because as Shaq would say, he has the best feet work in the business. Right? So that's what separated him on his impact. All right, now I'm going to give you a biased pick. Before Paolo Banchero got hurt in Orlando with his shoulder, he was on his ascension of being top 5 in the MVP race, and he got hurt and then fell off. So that's more of my biased pick because y'all know I still bleed my Orlando. So to answer the first part of the question, I'm sticking with Jaylen Brunson. Stay healthy, Mike Brown, do right, and I think Jaylen Brunson will be in the conversation. Because why? One last piece to this, Dwight, you'll love this. Every MVP has the ball in their hands. And that's what gives them the caveat to get the numbers they have for us to vote. So now let's go to the West. There's only one guy I fear right now in the Western Conference. And he's a superhero, and his name is Ant-Man. He's the only guy on both ends of the floor where guys say, I'm going to sleep tonight because I have to guard Ant-Man. I'm going to sleep tonight because Ant-Man's guarding me.
I'm still going to the club, man. No, I still got to go to the club, DZ. I got to get it in, man.
And that's why Luka can't stop a cold with a box of tissue paper, even though he's in great shape. That's the difference. That is the difference when you talk to Jason Tatum, you talk to KD, you talk to Tyrese Maxey. They said, that damn Ant-Man's a different dude. I said, what are you talking about? He gives you 40 and still picks you up 94 feet. He tells the coach, nah, coach, forget that. I'm guarding him tonight. That's why I'm going with Ant-Man MVP.
You have Ant-Man for MVP. Oh, this is amazing.
Yes.
All right, we welcome in right now. I'm Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Brandon Armstrong, a.k.a. B-Dot. You were an absolute blast at that draft we had, I don't know, a week or so ago. B-Dot, here's the deal, dude. I want to bring you in on this, man. Dr. Phil went with Kevin Durant. And Dwight went with Brunson. Is that right?
No.
Jokic.
My bad. And then DZ went with I thought it was going to be Brunson, but then you went Ant-Man.
Ant-Man set you up good.
So you got B-Dot, you got an Ant-Man, you got a Jokic, you got a KD, and I went with Luka. He's my pick for MVP this year. You got Ant-Man, Jokic, KD, and Luka. You got somebody else for MVP, B-Dot?
First of all, I want to say hello to my fellas, man. Appreciate you guys having me. That's my big OG, my big uncle up there. What up, these guys? Love you, brother. And Phil, you know I love you, dog. And Dwight, that's why me and Dwight on the same page, because my MVP is Jokic. It was between Jokic and Luka, and I feel like Luka's going to have a hell of a season, but Joker. It's Jokic. I think the addition of Cam Johnson, along with his old teammate Bruce Brown coming back over, it's gonna make his life that much easier, and that assist rate gonna be even crazier.
I love it, man. I love it. All right, so we have two Jokic's, and then an Ant-Man and a Durant and a Luka. Let me bring you back into this, man. Because we talked about this earlier, but I'd love to get you on record with this. Give me your finals and who wins.
My finals. I got of course, the Denver Nuggets. Sorry, Dwight. You know.
Oh,
yes.
No.
I got the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, he's all over Denver too. B-Dot.
And coming out that East, you know what?
Be careful.
You know what, Phil? I love you, brother. I think with the addition that the Knicks had, I think this is the Knicks year. I'm not saying they're gonna win it. I'm not saying they're gonna win it, but I got the Denver Nuggets and the New York Knickerbockers in the NBA Finals.
I'm with it.
Nuggets in 6.
But you know what I like about that?
He slid that under the door like an envelope under the door.
Facts. The Knicks match up very well with the Denver Nuggets. They have their number in terms of matchups, and Cat plays very well against Jokic, and also defends them pretty well, surprisingly. But I think OKC is a team I don't want to see in the finals, and I think Denver could make it to the finals and potentially win it. But I think that'd be a better matchup for the Knicks.
Yeah, bearing injury, you know how it is with winning a championship. You got to have a great team, healthy team, and some luck. And I think Jalen Brunson, a lot of, adding Jordan Clarkson to that team relieves a lot of pressure off him having to ISO ball and try to go for 30 every night and dribble 15 to 30 times with 18 seconds on the shot clock and only 6 seconds left and the ball is still in his hand. So, yeah, I like the Knicks. I got another guy that you're going to ask me about, for these categories on the Knicks too.
I'm ready for it.
Hit us. Let's get into that now.
My sixth man of the year, I'm going with Josh Hart. I think coming off that bench, the numbers he already averaged now coming off that bench, he's a triple-double guy also. That hustle, I think he'll mess around and average 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. And they're going to be top 3 in the East So you got award winning, and I think Josh Hart will be sixth man of the year. And you got a lot of other guys, Benedict Mathurin, the Jordan Clarkson, but the effect that Hart has would be more than what Jordan Clarkson has and all those other guys.
I can't
I like
disagree.
that.
I can't disagree.
Good job, baby.
Clarkson's my pick. And Dwight was making similar points about Josh Hart. He's going to shine off that Knick bench, man. B Dot, I've been told that you have a rant. There's something you got to get off your chest. Is now a good time to do that? And then we can react and see where it goes and make it do what it do, as DZ says.
Man, let's take it off basketball a little bit, man. We're going to talk about some of the most viral moments, in this week in sports in general. And me being a old Patriots fan since 01, it kind of hurts my heart to see the disappointment Belichick is doing up there in UNC. They were 2-3, about to get a big time win, and my man's fumbled on the goal line with no more than 20 seconds left on the clock, resulting in a touchback. And I don't know if it's the Bill Belichick curse. I don't know if it's Bill Belichick dating someone that's 35 years younger than him. That could be a college, that could be, be a college cheerleader also. But let's just pray for Bill, guys. Tom Brady done left him, then got a championship. You feel me? Now doing great, doing lovely, being an NFL analyst and host and everything. So my most viral moment goes to the UNC Tar Heels football team, guys. I'm hoping for it. I'm praying for you guys.
Amen.
Looks like they're 2-4 now in the season, and yeah.
So
Prayers up.
Doc, let me ask you this question. Where there's smoke, there's fire now. So is there a chance that Bill Belichick is back on the sidelines in Chapel Hill after this season?
It's Bill Belichick. It's his first time. It's his first year being a college coach. So I think they'll give him another chance. I think they'll give him maybe 3 years max. Have another full year to recruit those guys. Throw some of that NIL money. You never know who he might get in that portal.
Okay, so hold on. Let me be more specific.
Talk to me.
North Carolina will give him 3 more years.
Yes, I think North Carolina. Yeah.
Does Bill Belichick want to stay 3 more years?
Bill Belichick's a winner. He doesn't like losing. He doesn't like being proven wrong. Outside of Tom Brady winning the championship, winning the Super Bowl without him, I know that hurt a lot. But in general, I think Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches, not the greatest coach in the NFL history. So I think him being a winner and wanting to succeed, I think he stays 3 years max. Though, if it doesn't work out no more than 3 years, he'll retire. He's out here.
Only thing I would add to this conversation, guys, for me, living in it with the kid being recruited, is that this year I've been giving Bill a pass because it's 65 brand new players. I don't care how great of a coach you are, you're not winning anything. Very similar in college basketball. There's 20 schools, and I think 15 are in the top 25. They got 12 to 14, like Baylor. Like 12 brand new players coming in, like Indiana, Mike Woodson, knowing like my personal friends, like brand new rosters. So I'm giving coaches like that a pass until you get a chance to go recruit your guys.
Yep.
Now, and Rick, you know this because you follow and beat out. You see college basketball coaches leaving schools that have prominent football so they can have the lion's share of the NIL to get players. So that's the key. So let me finish now. Here's the key for Carolina fans. The Board of Governors, the trustees, Lawrence Taylor, and Michael Jordan. Belichick has more money than God. I'm going to say it again. He has more money than God. So it's not about money. It's about a 17-year-old kid doesn't care what you did for New England 10 years ago. That's the problem. Mom and dad know how good you are. your uncle, your grandfather remembers you winning championship. But remember, folks, those kids, 17, 18 years old, they looking at them Oregon Ducks. They looking at them 17, jerseys. They looking at Nick Saban. They're looking what's going over in Florida. They see what's Ohio State. That's wide receiver you. That's what kids are looking at. They don't give a damn what Belichick's done. And I think that's what the people are getting confused with, in my opinion, when it comes to Bill Belichick.
No, yeah, I agree, 100%.
Ultimately, Bill Belichick is going to do what his girlfriend tells him to do.
Hold on, Rick.
Hey, whatever she's doing something right.
Hold on, Rick. You truly believe that? I'm
being partially sarcastic, but there's truth in all sarcasm. And the fact that she's on the field, like standing right next to him, he's coaching the game, like at practice and fall practice and stuff, and like she's out there, I'm not. You guys know me. I'm cool as a fan, but it's like, and I'm not going to go on some tirade here, but it's just like it's a weird look. It's a weird look.
I would agree with that I would agree with that from the standpoint, Dwight, where we know our wives as players, they got their own accounts now, and they're all involved doing their thing, the wives division. I mean, I admit my mom's one of the original members of the Mom Association of the NBA. Like, I'm happy for that. But once I get out my car, wife and mom go that way, I'm going to the locker room. There is no, like in football, they come to the end of the field, they give the girlfriend a little kiss, Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes kisses his wife, kisses the baby. And Rick, I'm a daddy, and B-Dot, I'm like you. Come on, we daddy's girls. But if you don't get your little butt up with your mama, I got work to do. I ain't got time to be kissing you on camera right now. So I've never seen an owner do that I can remember of any owner of any sport doing that.
I've never seen that happen with any coach, and I'm 56. I've been doing this, like 30 plus years in sports media. Look, I'm maybe kind of hating, but they can do whatever the heck they want to do. Ultimately, I don't care. They're very, very unique optics that I don't think are favorable for Bill or the program. And I'm not going to sit here and slam the lady involved, but you guys have seen on social media, like it's an evisceration. Okay. It is. All right. So I'm not going to go down that road at all. But I think Belichick's one and done. I think this is ultimately going to be a disaster. He's going to be that Dwight, we're on the same page. I think I don't think UNC is going to dip on him. I think he's going to dip on them.
I agree.
Like, this isn't working for me,
This isn't working for me.
that whole Bill Belichick thing.
I agree.
So Dr. X, what you think? Bill Belichick's coming back for another year? I think he's going to tap out.
I think he'll come back for another year. I don't think he's a quitter. And so just based off of that, I think solely based on the fact that he's not a quitter, I think he'll probably run it back. I don't think he wants to leave on an embarrassing, you can have a losing season, but to leave on a losing note would be, and this way would be a little, I think would hurt his reputation a little bit, just in terms of the overall arc of his career and his transition to college football.
I hear you, man. B-Dot, did you have any other content that you wanted to get out here? I want to try to coordinate this with Jason to play some Michael McDaniel sound. If you guys haven't heard this sound, you got to hear it. You're going to be like, this guy's the coach of an NFL team? Like, or you may even be thinking like, how does this guy walk across the street without getting hit by a car? Like, it's literally unbelievable. It's literally unbelievable. But B-Dot, do you have any other content you want to give us? Any predictions? Any thoughts about opening night? We talked a lot about that.
Before I sign off, my defensive player of the year, I want to get into that. Healthy Victor Wembanyama.
Nice.
I think he's hands down the defensive player of the year. My second tail on that will be Bam Adebayo. I'm hoping, he gets some love because Bam is a great defensive player, but it's all based on health and winning. I gave you guys my MVP, gave you guys my NBA champion. And I gave you guys my 6 man of the year. I think that's pretty much it. Phil, was it anything
So
else concerns?
That looks good. Sounds good to me.
B Dot, you want to hang around and hear this Mike McDaniel sound, or if you got to go with the family, we'll bid.
I gotta go with the family unless it's going to be played, with the next 5-6 minutes, because the wife has obligations tonight, and I gotta make sure the kids is good.
There you go. All right, B Dot, thanks for dropping in, man. We appreciate it.
See you, nephew.
I appreciate you guys, man. All right, love.
All right, brother.
X-rated, baby.
Thank you, baby.
So I got to set this up a little bit. The Dolphins have one win. They're like 1-6 or 1-7, whatever that is. They went to Cleveland. Cleveland sucks. Okay. Cleveland's freaking awful. And Cleveland housed them. They housed them like 31-6 or something like that. Mike McDaniel benches Tua Tagovailoa in this game. And afterwards, please help me. Is he speaking English? Is he coherent? Take a listen. All right, we're having some technical difficulties.
Maybe that's how he sounded. That would have been better than his rant.
Yeah, you gotta turn hit the mute thing on your.
So maybe Jason and Kai can kind of figure that out. And if not, we just it's our first show here. We got some stuff to figure out. But essentially, he stammered, guys, and he said, because we're not, I'm not making, this is transcribed. Okay. I'm not even being funny here. Because we're not, if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, assess another player. And so he's talking to quote unquote, he's talking about, there were more us in there than anything else, by the way. But what he's telling us here is, I benched Tua Tagovailoa, and Tua has been a problem this year. So, guys, what's happening now? They're finger pointing, okay? The coach is finger pointing the star quarterback. This is not going to end well. I actually thought that this bit would be usurped by an Adam Schefter bomb, that the Dolphins have relieved Michael McDaniel of his coaching duties and an interim coach.
There's a lot of guys that will have an important work week because we're not. If you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, I don't have a choice but to, assess a different player, and I have to coach a lot better as well. So we need. We're going to find out who and what we're made of.
Yeah, definitely not happy, not proud of where I'm at with my play, with how I've gone about things this year. I know I got to be a lot better, and I've been better for the Miami Dolphins years past, but this isn't years past. This is this year, right? And just trying to maneuver everything and trying to build a collection of guys to kind of bring along with me, and I got to be able to multitask, if that makes sense. Be able to do that, and while doing that, kind of continue to get the whatever it was last year and the years prior for myself to get going again and get in that flow. Thank you.
Huh? You guys, there were a lot of words in there, but he said nothing at all. Okay, anyway, you guys go ahead. Thank you, Jason and Kai, for playing that. That sound is it's gold.
You know what, Rick, and rest of the panel here. I follow the NFL, and the media. Listen, we all love the narrative. We all love the drama. We all want to think that we're in the locker room. The unfortunate thing for the Dolphins organization right now is that they're imploding. They're falling apart at the seams in real time in front of everybody. You have the infamous press conference from Tua Tagovailoa just 2 weeks ago talking about a players only meeting that players didn't come to, that they were late for. Basically throwing Mike McDaniel, their head coach, under the bus. Then over the last couple of weeks, Tua Tagovailoa, after that infamous press conference, has had the worst 2-week stretch of his NFL career. 8 interceptions, has 10 for the season. He is playing the worst quarterback of his career at this time right now. So what makes it unfortunate, then at the time of this taping of this show, Mike McDaniels, although he said he can't play a player who is not helping the team win right now, then goes and names Tua the starting quarterback for next Sunday. It's in disarray. There's confusion. Once the leaders at the top can't control the head coach and the quarterback who's supposed to be the face of the franchise, it is falling apart. It is fraying at the seams. Something needs to happen. I think the trade deadline is in the next several weeks. I know football teams, unless there's a bye week coming, they don't want to make any overt changes. They don't want to make crazy changes. I get it, because football is so intricate, so tedious, so detailed, to where you want the coach and the rest of the team to have symmetry. I understand that. But when you have these 2 press conferences yesterday and then the Tua Tagovailoa press conference just 2 weeks ago, they are imploding. Something has to happen. They are 1-6 for a reason. They are one of the worst football franchises right now. Changes have to happen if they want to go forward. I understand that they're trying to position themselves for draft rights and all that kind of stuff. I get it. So maybe there's a plan to lose in place, if you will. No professional athlete wants to be known as a loser, but the way the Miami Dolphins are acting in front of the sports world in real time, something has to happen. When your 2 leaders are talking and stuttering and basically bloviating nothing to the world, something has to be done. Something.
Bravo. Easy. What do you make of all this?
The only thing for me, because you know how much, Rick, of a football guy I am, and Dwight, I won't go all the way down the rabbit hole, but football was my first sport. I'm a Cowboy fan, just like you, growing up in the DMV. I couldn't put that damn hog on my nose, so my brother and all my cousins, they put all that damn hog. I couldn't do it. So now it's the leadership. Since he's taken over, he's had that, how do I say it, Rick? He's living off the old reputation of being a mastermind of putting offenses together.
Great call.
That's it. And he hasn't done anything since he's been in leadership. Great human being. I've met him at a Miami Heat game, and I say it again for the viewers, a great human being.
He's fun, isn't he?
Oh, no, I'm saying it's just that sometimes when you go over those 12 inches from assistant coach to head coach, sometimes you don't have the same success.
Dr. X, how do you make sense of this Miami Dolphins situation, man? Man. React to the sound you heard. I mean,
yeah, it's funny. It's mind-boggling. I think it's coming down to they need a little bit more media training under pressure. And as Dwight was saying, they're imploding in real time. And that's never fun because your mind is probably going a million miles a minute. And everything you say, all the cameras are there. They're going to spin it however they want their narrative to be. And so you don't have time to decompress and say, okay, if I say this, then I'm going to hurt this person. If I say this, I'm going to hurt this person. And as you said, 3D, he's just a good dude. So it's kind of managing a family, like in front of the cameras. So if this was a closed meeting, he probably would be a little bit better, but you kind of leave a lot of stuff unsaid. And that's how Tua sounded 2 weeks ago, Dwight. I think you could tell he was saying some things that he shouldn't have said to the media. And that's what happens when you're under pressure and you're trying to protect people. You sound like an idiot.
Wow.
You sound like a bumbling idiot. So, and it's really because you're trying to protect people. And I kind of respect that because what the media would have wanted was that he just threw everybody in the bus and said everything that he wanted to say. And now they have their sound bites. They have an answer to all their questions. They don't have to spin it so much, or it just gives them some more juicy material. But I think there was a form of protection from the coach to the players, as well as Also, Tua not really taking accountability and trying to dodge that and kind of throwing other people in the bus, which happens in these type of family, like a dysfunctional family.
That's why he needs to call Jalen Hurts, learn something from him. Call Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott. Yep.
Learn something from Dak. And if you have swagger, call Baker Mayfield.
Good point.
He said, why you say that? Well, when Baker was struggling, he was arrogant. He was this, that, that. Now he's playing well. He's confident.
He's an MVP. He's an MVP candidate all of a sudden.
Because y'all media want to spin it because y'all want to sell paper to get likes. Those are three different scenarios of guys being who they are because that's their personality, win or lose.
Yo, DC, you know what's crazy? Stephen A. Smith, I'll bring his name up. He talks about how Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott are the most boring press conferences to watch. But at the same time, to your point, they're looking for the juicy stuff where they can be critical. So it's sort of hypocritical in that regard to where they're not happy with Dak nor Jalen because they don't give them any juice. But then when someone like Tua or others have fumbled at the mic, if you will, they love to pour it on and to just add steam and fuel to the fire so they can make fun of them. So to your point, if you have to lie to the media, if you have to be coy.
No. I have to stop you, Dwight. You don't have to lie. You can just tell the truth without telling them anything.
Without telling them, okay. That's what
Jalen and Dak have down to a T.
Correct.
I gotta play better.
Well said.
I gotta play better.
Well said.
I gotta make better decisions. You see how they put it on them?
Of course.
And that's what Jalen and Dak have it great. Hey, if our defense can just keep doing, hey, I know our defense get beat up right now. I still got to go out and score points. So you're still giving the media something. You're still not giving them. My defense, excuse my French, ain't playing worth a cuss. And I'm out here getting 40 and we're still losing. That's what the media want leaders to say. And those two leaders don't do that.
One last point on this. Tua said in his soundbite that he wasn't happy about the way he's gone about things this year, which does kind of take you to McDaniel. And McDaniel's talking about players that are, doing harmful stuff. It sounds like Tua maybe kind of has been doing that. If we put one and one together, I mean, Tua just admitted that he hasn't sort of operated the way he would have liked. McDaniels is not calling out names in particular, but he benched Tua and then says that. So I think all that stuff is married. I think that's pretty safe to speculate about. I have one more question, and we're going to get up out of here. DZ, I'm watching your Cowboys obliterate the Commanders yesterday. I thought of you, knowing we were going to have this show. But look, when I watch the Cowboys, I think of you. I don't think of all the other annoying Cowboys fans. I think of you. I'm kidding.
I tell the truth.
I'm kidding, Cowboys fans. I'm kidding. But DZ is a sane, rational, reasonable Cowboys fan. And not every Cowboys fan is that. So my point is, DZ, to you. All right. Dallas, I believe, has the best offense in the NFL. I think that Burkhardt and Brady were saying that yesterday. We said scored 40-plus points yesterday. Okay. We also know that they have a leaky defense. Okay.
Can't stop a nosebleed.
So, DZ, and we can do a roundtable on this last topic of the show. Are your Cowboys legit in this? Are you ready to buy in or what? Talk to me. Are you believing in the Cowboys yet?
No, because I'm see Dwight and the viewers, as a kid growing up in Washington, D.C., you had a choice of, because I'm in my late 50s now, so you either had the Redskins, the Cowboys, or the Steelers. So those were three teams.
And the Raiders.
Well, on the East Coast, you got more Minnesota. You got more Minnesota. The Pitbull Peter, that's what my dad liked. You got more Minnesota in the East.
Good point.
Right. So for me, that's how down hard when we were 1-15. We took the lumps because you saw the vision where we were going. Jerry has gotten so drunk with his ego, he's starting to blurry our vision. So as exciting you are that, oh, we got CeeDee Lamb, oh, you got Pickens. Well, we've been asking for a number 2 wide receiver for 5 or 6 years. So it's like some of the stuff Jerry's done, it's like, how can I get excited because you got emotional with Michael Parsons? All right, now let me get one last thing off my chest. And this is real deep. When Zach Martin wanted his contract, it wasn't no problem. When Tony Romo wanted his contract, it wasn't no problem. When Jason Witten wanted his contract, it wasn't no problem. When the center wanted his contract, it wasn't no problem. When Daryl Johnston wanted his contract back in the day.
Oh, not the Moose.
Yes. It wasn't no problem. We had to lose 2 games before he gave Emmett his money.
Good point.
Dak had to go through what Dak had to be franchised twice, if I'm not mistaken.
He dragged Dak through hell, man.
Money. CeeDee Lamb had to pretty much act what we call now a young fool in 2025 because he believed that Justin Jefferson and all those guys got their money. He had to wait to get his money. Is there any consistency going on without me saying it?
We're all picking up what you're throwing down.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
We're all picking up what you're throwing down.
One last thing, Dwight, because you're the Dwight fan. I mean, you're a Cowboys fan, and I want you to finish from your perspective. That's why they show that clip at the end of every year with Stephen A. Smith showing those fans who are drunk. And I'm not one to say, because I say, I told y'all, we're not complete. We have pieces. We're excited. We're glitzy. We want to watch. But the playoffs, we've won 2 playoff games since 1995.
Yes.
So how can I not tell the truth?
Okay, and to continue to piggyback, what I will in Jerry's and the Cowboys' defense, DZ, hold on.
Vince,
they've done more than an adequate job of drafting players. Yes or no?
No, we draft well, we don't keep them.
Okay, so they have drafted well, and I think to your point, and I'll fast forward to the Dak situation and the CeeDee Lamb situation. He eventually paid those guys and noticed that it didn't lead to success. So for me, the way I look at it, I wanted him to trade Micah Parsons back before the draft, right? They also thought that Micah Parsons would take the quote-unquote hometown discount because he wanted to stay in Dallas. He wanted to play for the star. It didn't work. So they had to make a deal, which is not the best right now. But being a glass half full person that I am hoping that the 2 first-round picks that we got for Micah Parsons, Kenny Clark is still a work in progress. He got hurt yesterday. We'll see how that plays out. But I'm hopeful that the 2 first-round picks that the Cowboys got for Parsons, and then their original pick, which maybe they can swing as for a trade at the trade deadline to add for this year's roster. Because, again, to your point, guys, the Cowboys can't stop a nosebleed. They are a leaky faucet defensively, but they're possibly having a historic season offensively. There's no dominant defensive team in the NFL this season. There are better defensive teams than the Cowboys currently, but there's no dominant
We're in
defensive
dead last.
team.
There's no team that's ever won a Super Bowl being dead last in defense. Never,
I
ever,
agree.
ever,
I
ever,
agree.
ever.
I agree. And the defense is putting too much pressure on Dak Prescott and the offense to basically score every possession. And you can't win ultimately that way. Okay? So I agree with that. But if they can somehow tweak the lineup defensively this season, I'm a glass half full person. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I think Jerry Jones understood that this time I can't pay Micah if I want to improve the roster going forward. So I'll take my lumps now. I'll trade Micah Parsons. It's not going to be popular, but I'm going to get some assets for him and see if I can build out the back end, add some depth to the roster as a result of this trade. Yes, he said we are going to be a better team because of this trade. He didn't mean this year. He's talking about in the future. We don't see it now as Cowboys fans, but again, I think you will see it down the line. Micah is a transcendent player defensively, no question about it. But I think the buck stopped with him after Jerry signed Dak and CD to those large contracts because he understands that you can't be so top heavy salary-wise with three players if you want to build a roster that's going to be conducive to winning going forward. That's why I think he stepped off of the Micah Parsons contract.
I understand some of the theory. The only thing I disagree, I think he got off the Micah contract because of sheer ego.
Okay.
Dwight, you've never, ever, once again, ever negotiated over words in a contract with a superstar player. That's strictly ego. Period.
I agree.
So that's why I throw all the other stuff out the window, because you didn't treat Tony Romo. You treated no other Cowboy great.
Yeah.
By saying, well, we talked about a conversation over beer. You said you were going to take less. Where do nobody in the history of professional sports ever done that. Right. That's an 83-year-old egotistical billionaire. That's all it is, and people are afraid to say it. I've said on every platform. Period.
Fair enough.
Even hold on. Even the Bengals know that we still had to sign Hendrickson. They figured out a way to bring him back because they realized they were terrible on defense. And before Joe Burrows got hurt, they believed they could compete because they kept their number one defensive guy because the quarterback took them to the Super Bowl as a rookie or a second-year guy. That's what we're saying. You paid this guy, you paid that guy, and you paid that guy. Why in the hell you don't pay the guy on the defense to try to win now? We don't know what next year looks like. Dak might get hurt. CD might get hurt. That's what the logic of you spent all this money, but now you want to park the Ferrari outside with no garage? Huh?
Well, you bailed on a Hall of Famer mid-career, which is almost always really, really stupid. And Micah Parsons is not an edge rusher. Micah Parsons is a defense. He literally creates a defense.
Yes.
I'm not saying
he's a disruptor.
I'm not saying that he plays 11 spots. I'm saying he's like a Lawrence Taylor type of guy. Just a Ray Lewis type of guy. Like he'll take your defense for whatever level you're at. He's hiking it way the F up here. And you guys know that they missed the hell out of Dan Quinn as a defensive coordinator. Yes. You know they missed the heck out of him.
Rick, see, you got me going. When Kansas City was trying to win that second championship, what lineman did they hurry up and sign?
Chris Jones.
Remember Chris Jones wasn't there the first? Remember?
True, but he missed the game too, DZ. Come on now.
And then because they got their asses ran straight through, and they signed him. That is my point.
Yeah.
Here's my point. Why put Patrick Mahomes in his prime and he give him a chance to win and not give him a defense? That is my point once again. The Hunt family said, you know what? We got plenty of money. Patrick Mahomes is hotter than fish grease right now. We just won a Super Bowl with him. He's worth the money. Hey, Dad, let's give him the money. You're right. Here's the money. They win another Super Bowl.
You know what, DZ? Listen, again, I'm going to be the glass half full guy.
One last one.
Talk to me a couple of years.
Hold on, Dwight. So you can stay half full. I'm gonna drink all the shit for you. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I'm gonna drink the whole drink for you. What did Philadelphia do? They went and brought their whole front four back to go win the Super Bowl on defense.
But hold on. There are some departures now.
And that's why they're not good this year. And that's why Philly's defense is not good this year.
Well,
Good point.
Come on.
Yes, I know. Sometimes you have to go down a bit to rise back up.
No, you do not. Kansas City said we're not going back.
Yeah, we're not dipping. We don't do that dip thing
we're
here.
replacing. If someone outbids us, so be it. If someone outbids us, that's different because you're going to get more money because you've earned more money.
That's fair.
Kansas City said, if you're one of ours, like Chris Jones proved, we're keeping you. They let McDuffie go because McDuffie got so much more money. They're like, man, bless you and your family. Go bless you. That's different. Well, we said, you know what? You told me you were going to sign this contract over conversation and drink. I thought you were going to be a man of your word. Are you not going to sign it now? Well, I'm going to get right out of here. Come on, Jerry, stop it.
So, Dr. X, are you a believer in the Cowboys now?
Oh, wow.
Never was a believer in the Cowboys. You mean for this season?
This season. No, right? Like, because they're coming off like if Cowboys fans are probably like riding a natural high right now. I mean, that was a hell of a win, man. So like that's why. So
after what the Commanders did to us last year, I mean, Jaylen Williams looked like a Hall of Famer last year the way he kicked our butt last year.
Offensively, I like what they have going on, and you can't really, take that away from them. But ultimately, I think it's going to come down to who they match up against in the playoffs. Are they going to win at least one game?
They got to get there first.
It doesn't matter. They're just a regular season. They're just a regular season sparkly toy. Like they're nothing more than that. Like just win a playoff game first, and that's the win for this season. That's the baseline where Jerry Jones can look in the mirror and look at the fans and say, "Hey, at least we're getting better, and it's only going to go up from here."
And this is what I'm talking about. First of all, I don't see the NFC is stacked this season. The Cowboys are going to have to get out of their own way defensively if they want to have a chance. Dak is in the MVP conversation only because he's basically carrying the Cowboys defensively right now. You basically have to outscore every team you're going up against, which is why I don't know if they're going to do this, the Cowboys we're talking about here, but if they can make a tweak at the trade deadline, they added Jadeveon Clowney a couple of weeks ago, who had a very good ball game yesterday. If they can make another addition, not splashy, but somebody to add some depth, just to add some kind of impact player defensively to where they can get a stop when it counts, and you give Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, the running back Javonte Williams, and the most lethal weapon in the National Football League, place kicker Brandon Aubrey. If you give the offense a chance by just getting a stop when you need it, the Cowboys can do some things. I just don't think it's going to happen because you're putting too much pressure on Dak to score every possession.
You guys are amazing, man. Just quickly, I'm just a nerd about this stuff. I'm watching that game yesterday. You guys, and we don't need to do a roundtable on this. It's Brandon Aubrey. He literally 50-50 splits the uprights every single
down
kick.
the middle.
It's never to the right. It's never even a little
Just
bit
get it to
off.
midfield, Rick. Just get it to midfield.
I can't.
Just get it to midfield.
To me, the best kicker of all time is Adam Vinatieri, because of the big kicks, right?
Clutch.
Kicks that win Super Bowls, the kick in the snow in the tuck rule game, right? Best kicker for me, and that's accomplishments and stuff like that. The most talented kicker I've ever seen is Justin Tucker. All right. But
Fair.
I think Brandon Aubrey might be more talented than Justin Tucker. Dude, he hit a 61-yarder yesterday. That mofo was all the way up at the top of the goalposts when it went through. Did you guys see this stuff?
Of course.
It was, I was like, because I was, okay, 61-yarder. I always want to see like where it lands. I'm like, dude, this guy, that thing, I mean, 70, he easily had 70 yards on that kick.
The field goal to tie the Giants several weeks ago.
Yep.
Would have been good from 75 yards out.
Yep.
The guy's a freak,
the leg
man.
he has. Just get it to midfield, he has a chance. Just get it to midfield.
Weapon.
Hey, Rick, what was the kicker from Florida State played with the Raiders? It was
Janikowski, Sebastian Janikowski.
He was a bad boy until he drank his way out of the NFL.
The Raiders, hold on. The Raiders took him at number 17 in the first
that's
round.
How good he was in Florida State.
He was a gangster.
That's how good he was.
Dude, and he was all like kind of strong, but also kind of fat.
Like,
and like
yeah,
I think he rode
that's why I like
stuff. Like he was a
like,
rock star, man.
I know y'all call me fat. Take this 65-yard field goal.
Yeah, right in your mouth. right in your mouth.
Right.
Oh my God. And they called him Seabass too, which
gosh.
great nickname.
Yes.
Oh, do you guys, what a show this has been. What a blessing. Dr. Phil McDonald for putting this together. Thank you, Dr. X. I really appreciate that. Dennis Scott, love you, man. It has been a while since we were together. This has just been a delight, man. I couldn't be happier. Dwight Walton, your takes have been phenomenal. Really enjoyed working with you. We're off to a good start, fellas. This is great.
I'm loving it. Guys, rinse and repeat, man. Chop wood, carry water.
let's get this ball rolling, fellas. Let's be consistent with this and just build this brand as best as we can. We've got some very knowledgeable people on this panel. Let's roll with it. Let's take advantage of this opportunity and make this as big as we can.
I love it. Hear, hear. That is, put that on a t-shirt. Also, huge thanks to Kai and Jason behind the scenes and putting this and making it come to life here. So for the great Dr. Phil McDonald, a.k.a. Dr. X, for Dwight Walton, for one of the great splashers in the history of basketball, Dennis Scott, I am Rick Hamla. And for A.M. Pfeffer as well, who had to depart a little bit early, we are Go Beyond the Surface here on the X-Rated Sports Network, and we will see you all very, very soon.